These look a bit raw.
No, they're good to go.
All right. The barbecue is cooking. The show is going to be hot. This was the prize for IsoViber that Courtney won last week. And all expenses paid. Dinner at the ScoMo Show Studios, eating our favourite food.
Courtney, do you want your chicken medium rare? I got you covered.
It's got to still be bleeding to be good.
Yeah, no, it's bleeding.
Yeah, good. Welcome to this week's show. We have a massive show on the way for you tonight. I am pitching a new way that we can all still go to church together without actually going to church together. Simo doesn't know about it yet. I've stolen it from the NRL, the football, which I've never watched before. As well as that, you are continuing your marriage counselling of my relationship on the show.
Yeah, we're ready to go. So I've got some wedding plans to discuss, guys. So I hope you're ready. Let's get to it. This will cook itself. I've always found that food cooks itself.
To the show.
Let's get on with it. All right. Intern Nick has done it.
Wow. I don't know whether people can hear us yet, but we certainly hope you can.
Jeez, it's a bit chilly out here at the ScoMo Studios tonight.
It's beautiful. Hey, we've got our winners from last week, and we've got their prizes. We've got everything ready to go, as well as your wedding plans. I'm really excited.
It makes me a little bit nervous. Are we talking about engagements again this week?
Yeah, we are. We're going to hear your engagement story plus the engagement story of others. But right now, you said you've got an idea for church, and I am very interested in this, by the way.
I've got a really great idea for church.
By the way, for those who want to know, we definitely want to be able to get people meeting together again. We're just still trying to work through some of those restrictions, and that looks like, at the moment, one person per 7 meters. But I'm keen to hear your idea of how we can make this work.
I actually think we can make it that people will be next to each other.
All right, let's
be close. Have you seen? And I've got a photo here for you, Nick. If you could bring up what the NRL are doing right now, they are allowing members of the team to send in a photo of themselves. You can see there's a dog down towards the bottom of the screen there. You can send in a photo of yourself, and they will print it out as a cardboard cutout, and that's you sitting in the audience supporting your favorite NRL team. And I thought, we could apply this to church. So I go, you know, like there's a few people. So you go and do your message you record every week. Yeah. And people could pay. They could use their time. Yeah. To sit in church.
This is fantastic.
Nick, is there like Leroy?
This is fantastic.
Is there like Leroy?
Leroy could be on that. Is not Leroy. That is not Leroy.
Actually, I know Courtney was allowed to bring a guest tonight, and she chose to bring her husband to Mecca. He could tithe and sit in the audience.
Mecca could be on the show. We can see a Mecca
in the audience. Like, can we just stop for a minute? Have you seen the movie Tropic Thunder?
I'm not going to participate in this conversation.
This looks like Robert Downey Jr.'s character from Tropic Thunder.
Part of this conversation.
Amazing.
Wow.
So that could be in the church.
My fiance Kim.
Kim should be in the church. She takes great notes at church, so she'd be a really good support to have her at church.
Can I just ask why everyone else's photos look absolutely shocking? And then you have that photo of Kim looking beautiful.
I have a story to tell you. And if you're bored, you can go through Kim's socials and verify it. Nick, bring the photo back up. Every photo Kim ever takes, she's in that pose.
Wow,
If you're a How I Met Your Mother fan, there's a whole storyline about how Barney Stinson always looks good in photos.
I'm going to stop you right there because there's a video coming up later on today that's going to prove that you may or may not be very, very wrong in that. And I can see Kim in the waiting room right now. Kim, you should be worried.
But I'm bringing her on yet.
Yeah, no, not yet. But what I do want to...
Wait, there's one more.
There is.
There's one more. Okay. What about Matt?
Hang on a minute.
Sitting there in the front.
Can I just say, this could go horribly wrong because if that was what I was looking at from the front row...
Picture that in your mind.
I am picturing it in my mind.
I reckon it would look like this.
Wow.
You
know what? Be honest with me. Nick, you're a footy fan as well. Yeah. Is that not Fatty Vorton in our church right there? If that is not the big man, Fatty Vorton, I don't know what is.
Hold on. Is Is there another? There's one person that wanted to buy out.
That could be a good way to bring the
There's
ladies.
One person that wanted to buy out all the seats. Do we have the photo of that? Is that Tiana?
It is
sitting on her
Tiana.
own?
Tiana.
Sitting on her own.
Tiana.
You know what the good thing if she's sitting on her own is? Plenty of room for some fellas to go sit next to
Are you
proposing?
proposing?
I see what you've done there.
Yeah.
Are you proposing?
her. That's not social distancing.
Yeah.
By choice, anyway.
She's bought out all the seats for the single guys to come and sit.
That's right.
Right.
The church is open for business.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my idea. I'm just putting it out there.
All right. So, what about fake crowd noises? Can we have like fake worship noises? Is that what we could do as well?
I want to do some NRL commentary around your message. You know, when you get really excited, you go for the point.
Hey, hang on a minute.
He's lining up. He's lining up.
Hang on a minute. Can I just say, this is my favourite thing that you've ever said, Scotty. Keep going with this because I've always dreamed after a message of being able to give standard NRL answers because I see people on a Monday or a Tuesday.
Hold on, let me do it. Okay.
All right, you ready?
So it was a good message. Didn't quite land where you were hoping tonight, though.
Yeah, listen, we went through a lot of this at training and we definitely did have a game plan, but sometimes once you get out there, things do go wrong. But credit to the opposition. They certainly put up a tough fight today. We've got some real takeaways that we'll learn from that for sure.
Are we going to see a change in the lineup before next week?
Look, that's probably going to be a decision that we're going to talk about through this week. We'll go through what happened tonight. And then we'll make some decisions from there.
Your coach, Lisa, where are we at? There's a lot of calls for her to be stood down as coach.
Yeah. Listen, all I know is that us as a playing group, that we really have, we support her all the way. And I know that there's a lot of conversation around that, but we try not to talk about that at the club. We make sure that we're really focused on our outcome, on our playing, and that when we're out there, that we're doing what we need to do.
You rescued that well. That was a hard question.
Thanks. I appreciate that. My favourite is because people always ask you, how was the service on Sunday? And I want those answers where we can be able to be like, you know what? Great message. I think, credit to the worship team, though. They really laid a strong platform for us to be able to come up. I know that Nick was on transitions today, and he's been putting in the hard yards at training. And so well done to Nick for transitions. I was just able to come in and do my part, and a team effort today. Solid win.
So tonight we are live from the back deck of the ScoMo show studio.
We're doing that more. We're going to do that. We're going to review like footy games, church services from now on. Let's do that. Let's add this in. It's a new segment.
Are you prepared to go against the boss? Are you prepared to do the interview post? City Point?
We'll do it.
You're prepared after Mark?
Yes, sir. I'm prepared to do this with other places as well, and we can review. It'd be good if we have one of those screens that we could circle plays as well. You can see here, if we just freeze it, he's about to land on a main point right there, and we can see that. You can see him preparing. You can see the opposition running. They're leaving right now. This is fantastic.
Guys, there's an echo. That's not our fault. We have actually put together the show. No, actually, it's because Nick's computer's not muted.
Nick, unbelievable. Do you know we spent about 8 minutes going through this before the show today because we had multiple cameras and we've got lots of new things operating. But that's all right. We appreciate you giving this a good red hot crack, intern Nick.
This is part of, it's a very different show for us tonight. This is part of the winning prize for iSurvivor. We've got a dinner on the way as well. And I think one of the beautiful things is, I'm not going to say where the ScoMo studio is, but there definitely is a black lab named Levi that urinated behind us minutes ago.
Yeah.
And that added, I think that's added to the show.
And a lot of people haven't realized, but I think that these guys are amazing. Now, we are going to bring what are we up to, Nick? What's on the run sheet now?
I don't know.
What are we up
run
to?
Sheet.
Hang on.
You guys didn't think we had a run sheet?
Yeah, but we do. We are actually prepared. We got that bit. Oh, yes. I know where we're at.
It's the church run sheet.
We are going to welcome the winner for last week's prize from the iSurvivor Challenge. It is, bring her on, Courtney! Well done, Courtney. Hey, Courtney, were you shocked when you arrived at our studio? Did you expect it to be here?
Honestly, I had no idea where it was going to be. Like, complete surprise.
Yeah. A lot of people are surprised because it looks like a standard house on the outside, but on the inside, you have this high-tech studio that's filled with amazing people and teams, you know, producers, executive producers. And hey, thanks so much for being patient with our security guards. Obviously, we have stringent checks here, but to get through that, really appreciate it.
I just want to wrap up. Obviously, we wrapped up iSurvivor last week. Now that we've got you here in the room, what's the moment on reflection that you are most proud of in your gameplay of iSurvivor?
Oh, the moment. I don't know. There was a few fun moments there.
Yeah.
Possibly the moment where I managed to jump into a moving car in order to stop an opponent from escaping to find shoes. That might be the moment.
Oh, wow. Now
that
opponent was your husband, Emeka, who's having some comfort pretzels right now.
Yeah.
And also something a lot of people may not know playing along at home. Last week, we obviously crossed to your team and we saw little Kingston Korea sitting there with you guys. And also he appeared in the photo that you'd submitted to us days before. My assumption was that you'd called the Korea family, you called Leroy and Lois, and you said, hey, can I please borrow your son? Because here's a plan I've got. But that's not what happened, is it? You kidnapped that boy.
I did not kidnap him. He was given to me, and it was their idea, not mine.
But hang on, were you conning them though? Was it a con?
Well, is it a con if he's already given to me and we just happen to do a game together when he's already with me?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That is the answer. Can you tell the story properly, please? Because you are making it sound like you had no devious plan. And if we can bring up the photo, actually, of your team, I mean, if we could zoom in, but I want everyone to know that's not them. If everyone could look really closely at their screen, if you can screenshot this, if you can do whatever you need to, if you have a close look at Courtney's face in this, it is the most devious looking face of, these guys are all my minions and under my control, which is how we've perceived how you played this. But how did you get Kingston, somebody else's child, to your house at that time of night?
On Wednesday. So Wednesday, I happened to have a longer than usual week at work. And Michael was really feeling it.
Michael, who's your
Michael was really feeling it.
Yeah, you know, he misses having his mum around. It's long days when mum's at work. So he needed a social outlet to feel loved again.
Okay.
You know, and what better way to feel loved again than to spend some time with your bestie?
So
hang on, Courtney, are you still trying to con us right now? Like this is a real story? Because we know the truth. You don't need to keep the con going anymore. But you are good because you're committed to the con. That's probably my favorite moment is when we heard this story.
The fact that you had told Kingston's parents that he was just coming over just to
It was a play date. It was totally play date.
And you know what the best thing is when Lois told us the story, she was like, I knew they were up to something. Yeah. I knew she was up to something.
It just timed out perfectly.
Now, I do want to say now is the moment where we are going to reveal some of your prizes. Obviously, the barbecue's cooking. The food's going to be ready soon. But right now, I've got over here a little box with some of your incredible treats in it.
Yes. So, dear.
I'm going to grab this.
This is very exciting.
I wonder what I've got myself into now.
It's very exciting. It's a big box. That is a big box of prizes. Remember, this is valued at well over $15,000. Look at
$15,000. It's an Amazon box as well. Drum roll is going. It's got a flammable warning on the outside.
Wow. A box. Just
show everyone.
What's in it?
Yep.
What more could you want?
Yep. Pretzels.
What more could you want than a big...
And this, look, like I said to you, I just everything that's been
wow.
It's a signed photo of the ScoMo team. I mean, what more? And the official ScoMo mug. Read out what it says.
Can you just read it out? Yeah.
You are isolent.
Which is?
Excellent at iSurvivor.
Wow. Wow. It is personalized. We can now confirm that. There's no one else that would have that mug. Please don't wash it because it's not. It's just.
It's one of those things you sit on the shelf.
Special. It's like a trophy. You don't wash a trophy or put it in the dishwasher. You just put it in the shelf and remember.
Speaking of trophy, Anyway, keep going.
Hey, Corny, we actually did want to get to know you a little bit more because you just played this game so excellently and just showed so much resilience and adaptability. It just didn't matter what team you were in, you just seemed to find a way. And I heard some of your story the other day, and I think I know where this adaptability to different people comes from. Tell us what life was like for you growing up in the sunny town of Tasmania.
Because Tasmania is a town.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. Very sunny in Tasmania. Well, I grew up most of my childhood memories in an old Victorian house, 120 years old. And my parents were fairly new Christians when I was young. So being baby Christians, they wanted to help out at church. They had big hearts for helping people, but didn't really feel qualified to do a whole lot. Weren't exactly musically talented. Thank you, Yazzie, for recognizing that.
Tasmania is technically, it's a state. We all recognize it. Yeah.
But they did have a house. And it was a fairly large house that they'd renovated and restored. So they just opened the doors for the house. And we had traveling gospel bands come and stay with us. We had acting groups come and stay with us. We had Watato Children's Choir come and stay with us.
Wow.
We could have 5 adults for 5 weeks or just someone overnight. And yeah, over the course of 10 years, we had about 150 people stay with us.
Wow. That's insane. So life was pretty crazy for you growing up, always different people staying in your house and then you meet this guy over here and you end up marrying this guy at some point, and then turns out he's in the Air Force, a bit of traveling. And so you move away from home, and then your mum comes up to Brizzy, if I'm right, and she sort of recognizes that something's a little bit out, hey?
Yeah, so it was about a year after we'd been married, and she was just watching my emotional ups and downs and realizing there was more downs than ups.
Yeah.
And started asking me if I'd considered depression as a thing. But yeah.
So she starts to say, hey, I'm a bit concerned about this. What's your immediate reaction when she starts saying that?
I can get out of bed in the morning. What are you talking about?
Right. Okay. Yeah. So how did sort of things progress there, or what sort of happened from there?
Well, I kind of started off just doing a little bit of my own research, and just took it hand in hand with God as I was operating at a fairly good level. Like I said, I was able to get out of bed. I was still going to work and doing all of that stuff. I just went about life as usual, and every now and then touch base with God, like, okay, what next?
Yeah, wow.
Talk about that side of it. I think there's so many people, particularly people who are suffering from depression, who are Christians, who then take on this bizarre, I can pray my way out of it. I don't need doctors. I don't need medicine. How's that journey been for you? Or I guess even what do you say to that?
It's been a bit of a journey. How to even put that into words? Like, it just happens over the course of years, and it's a matter of wrapping your head around it. If you're physically sick, though, there's no problem in going and getting help.
Yeah, great.
And you can get better, and then you might get sick again down the track, and it's completely unrelated, and it's okay to go see a doctor again and not feel guilty just because you've got sick again in 3 years' time. But there's something about mental health that just feels different, but it's still health.
Yeah.
So it's just that understanding, I think.
Courtney, you've gone through that process of seeing doctors, and you've also gone through the process of being able to really kind of go, God, how do I deal with this? I'd love for you to just give people who are going through this right now just something practical that you did, as well as it's the coupling of the two that I think is really important, that they work hand in hand together. What are some things that you did that worked well to be able to get you through this time?
Well, one little thing that I did, and it was the first thing that God started teaching me, was to establish routines.
Yeah.
And basically choose how you want to start your day and your week, to be able to start choosing how you're going to feel and what story you're telling yourself before someone else decides for you.
Wow.
So that was one big thing to start taking control, because so often you pick up your phone first thing in the morning and you see a notification, and the second that's the first thing you look at, you're giving control to someone else.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah. So that was one big thing. And the other thing was recognizing the thought emotion cycle.
Great.
Depending if you're a thinker or a feeler, you might start in a different place. But once that cycle starts, it just kind of escalates until you're completely out of control and one little thing has blown up and now suddenly it's the end of the world when in fact someone just looked at you funny or who knows what.
Well, Courtney, you are in so many ways just such an incredible competitor and such so resilient and so fierce. And we just want to say you're not just our hero because you won iSurvivor, but you really have demonstrated what a hero you are in what you've overcome. Please keep telling your story. Keep letting people know. And if you are watching and you go through some of this as well, please let somebody know. Don't go through the journey on your own. Seek help where you need to seek help. Places like Headspace, Beyond Blue, there's great Christian counselors, Lifeline. And so we recommend you make sure you go through that. Courtney and Mecca, congratulations
Before
again.
We go, I was just going to say to Courtney, 10play.com.au/casting, they're lining up the next season of Survivor right now. There. All right. Thank you guys.
Thanks, guys. And well done again. Hey, enjoy those pretzels and good luck getting them home because they are so good. I don't see you being able to stop eating them. We're going to let you guys go and start enjoying the feast, and we're going to move on with the show.
I can see we've got so many guests still lined up. We haven't gone to any of them yet. What are we going to? What are we doing?
Listen. You just don't need to worry about a thing because
stop moving those out of my range.
I told you they were good, but you need to control yourself, okay? Because you got a wedding coming up, and for those who don't know, Scott and his incredible wife or fiance Kim are getting married this year, and we, the lovers of them and people of the show, have agreed that we would join with them in actually planning their wedding. They appointed me as their wedding planner, so much so that I presented this little video for you guys. Hopefully. It's there.
Nick's here.
Here comes your wedding planner. Here comes your wedding planner. I have the ideas that'll make your wedding great. Here comes your wedding planner. Here comes your wedding planner.
Hey?
Okay.
What do you think? What do you think?
Is Matt still on the screen?
Forget all of that. How good are some of those wedding plans in there?
Before we go any further, a few things. Oh, the pink suit was a plant. I thought that was
It's
you.
a pitch. It's a pitch. It's a bit of an idea. It's one of our first ideas. We're still early on in this process.
Before we go any further, I just want to say, and people, please comment support of this. If there's anything the ScoMo show has taught us, it's how much you like writing and singing songs.
How good is it?
I know tonight we get to have dinner with Emeka. Maybe you two need to sit down, do a bit of collaboration.
Yeah. All I want to say right now is we are going to bring Kim on because tonight we're going to hear your engagement story as well as the engagement stories of some of the others. But Kim, welcome to the show. Hey, I'm so excited to be your wedding planner. Thanks again for inviting me or asking me to be the wedding planner.
I was excited until I saw that video and now I'm kind of scared.
No, you don't need to be scared about anything. Now, Kim, I contacted you earlier, Kim, because one of my favorite things about doing some of the premarital preparation is just finding out how well a couple knows each other. So we're going to play a little game called Getting to Know You with Scotty and Kim.
Can I sing the jingle?
No.
Getting to know you.
The jingle writing to me. Now, Kim, I sent you some questions earlier, and Scott, I'm going to ask you these questions. Now, Kim, you have written these down, and so you're going to present your answers to the screen. Okay, is what's going to happen now. There's a little catch I didn't tell either of you about, but being that you're here now, I should let you guys know that you've already automatically agreed to it. And that is every question that you guys don't have aligned is one decision I get to make about your wedding without your permission. All right? So that's what's going to happen. Now, I do want to have a little caveat. You guys, I've spoken to you earlier, and I want to confirm this now. You have agreed to do a wedding. I'm not saying it's the official one, but a wedding live on the ScoMo show. Is that correct?
I get to pick this.
No, you don't. That might be one of the decisions I get to make. Depends on the answers you get right. It might be Nick. We don't know. Nick could be your celebrant. But what we want, you both agree to do that?
Yeah.
All right, great. So I know when you're actually getting married, and we're going to do this a little bit beforehand, but here we go. All right, I'm going to go
Did
through
anybody
this.
else hear that, or was
No,
that
just us. Just
Okay,
us.
cool.
All that stuff there. All right, you're supposed to be a professional, Scott.
Yes, sorry.
All right, so we're going to go with question number 1 about getting to know Scott Kim. Now, remember, every one you guys get incorrect is one decision we, the show, get to make without your permission.
Okay.
All right. First of all, nice, easy one. How do you spell Kim's full name?
Like through the surname.
Yeah, well, that's what a full name usually is, mate.
Okay. KIMBERLY hyphen ANN NORONHA. Oh!
All right.
Boys got skill. Boys got skill.
All right.
Good work.
KIMEONHO.
No one cares about that,
Double
though.
F MANN.
You are
Most people
correct.
forget there's a double N, but
They do.
I don't because I'm a friend.
Because
I'm a
you love
good
me.
friend.
Because you love me.
Good.
All right, here we go. All right, number 2. Question number 2.
Yeah.
What is one of Kim's lifelong goals?
And I'm gonna put the S word, but I don't think she would.
Whoa,
put the S word.
whoa! This is a
Two.
family-friendly show. We're not
Two.
putting the S word. Kids, you're still okay to keep watching.
Star in a musical.
To star in a musical. Oh, that's different too! This is not working out well. I want to make some decisions.
How many are
Just
there?
shut up.
You got that. Good
Would
work.
Kim prefer the beach or the mountain?
This was easy.
I mean, it is, but that's the reason you're saying it's easy is racist. So I would say the beach. Yeah.
Wow. All right. Okay. All right. What is
All people that come from the Asian continent.
what
love
is
the beach. It's a
Kim's
thing.
what is Kim's favorite dessert?
Am I wrong? No.
All right, Kim. What's your favorite dessert? Wait. What is Kim?
No, no,
No,
no,
don't
no,
say
yeah,
it, don't say it. What is Kim's favorite dessert? Kim's favorite dessert.
There are a lot of answers that come to mind, and I'm going to take a risk and say apple crumble.
Oh,
And if it's not that, it's going to end up in pavlova.
Oh,
it's really
it's hard. I like a lot. Maybe cheesecake or macaroni. That's one decision.
Sort of right.
Write it down. That is one decision that we get to make about their
Oh.
wedding. All right. What is Kim's pet peeve?
This is such a hard question. So unfair.
Kim's pet peeve. Go.
Kim's pet peeve.
Is how long you take to answer a question.
Hey. You shouldn't
Oh,
be.
no, that's my
you
pet
shouldn't
peeve.
be-
Sorry.
You shouldn't be afraid of silence. Kim's
Such a hard question. See?
pet peeve.
Oh, we lost one of our
If you get
lives.
this right, we should get like 5 points because it's so hard.
Kim's pet peeve is things not being organized.
I mean, that is too, but
Bad drivers. Yeah, bad drivers.
Interesting.
All right,
Not
that's good. That's
moral.
2 decisions we get to make. Actually, there's some backers on the back of that light there. If you take them out, we can use those
If anybody
ones.
heard what I just said under my breath, comment it.
All right,
because
you need
it's
both of them.
hilarious.
You need both of them. All right, okay, here we go. All right, yeah, all right. What is Scott? This is one for you. What is
I'm
a
ready.
food that you hate?
Anything that I've ever not wanted.
Okay, one food. You can only say one food. What is a food
fun
that you
food.
hate? Come on.
Is it like an actual food or an ingredient?
Mate, a food that you hate. It's not hard.
Or an ingredient.
Don't cheat.
I mean,
That's
I'm,
a set.
I'm
Go.
going to assume it's coriander.
What the heck? Why would it be coriander?
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's also wrong because I don't hate
You don't hate onion. You like onion. I know what's
don't
happening
like
here.
Onion.
You know why
And
I put this question here
vegetables.
is because every time Scott mentions a food that he doesn't like or that he didn't want in a dish, Kim automatically assumes he hates it.
Yes, correct. Absolutely
He
correct.
hates a lot of things.
No, he doesn't.
And I can guarantee
He
you.
actually
things.
doesn't. All right, he's not as picky as what you think he is. I know him better than you. All right.
Yeah.
All right. What is your greatest fear, Scott?
My greatest fear is this
Deep.
like a deep answer?
Just shut
I
up,
did
Kim.
deep.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
good,
you guys
good,
are cheating.
Good.
Oh, we've only got 3. Yeah, mute her. Mute her when she's not talking.
My greatest fear, I'm assuming if she went deep, she would have assumed that my greatest fear would be somewhere around the people not actually liking me.
Oh, that's so wrong.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to be onion.
Yeah,
That's
fire. It's fire. You should, mate. You should.
You're a 3. You're an Enneagram type 3.
All right, here we go. Who chased who? Simple one. Go.
That's obvious. I chased her.
Oh, I didn't say that.
Oh,
yeah, that's fine.
five decisions. Five decisions we are making. All right. Who is Kim's favorite pastor/preacher?
Okay. So let me just hold on.
Just to put it,
elimination.
I want to let people know. I want to let people know.
What any clues?
Just in case people don't know who are watching this.
Have you finished talking?
Just in case people don't know who's watching this, I am Kim's pastor and preacher. Just to put a caveat on that. All right, go. Hurry up.
Okay. Process of elimination. Okay. She can't stand the person whose church we go to.
Nick's giving you a rap. You need to hurry up and give
I'm
an answer.
I'm going to assume it will be Charlotte Gamble.
You took a gamble.
Boys, got and Pastor Lisa.
Pastor Lisa?
Preacher. And I stand by that.
Yeah, you guys can both go.
Boom. Boom.
All right. What is one thing? Last question.
Oh, is this still going?
Yeah, well, I said there was 10 questions. What is one thing Kim doesn't want at your wedding? You have to get this right to even be half good for each other.
Oh, wow.
So far, you've gotten 5 wrong. One thing Kim doesn't want at your wedding. Don't say me.
One thing. I want to give a funny answer, but we're being serious.
Well, you give a funny answer. Not what decision I get to make about your wedding, and we'll just know how good a couple you are.
What is one thing that Kim doesn't want at our wedding? There's just so many. I would say if there's one thing Kim doesn't want at our wedding, it's native flowers.
That's wrong. So wrong.
People to be bored. Also fruitcake. Yeah. That's 6. You guys are not made for each other, but you'll get married anyway. That's fine. No worries about it. You'll be all good.
On next week's show, we repeat this game with Pastor Simo.
No, we don't.
Lisa,
No, we don't.
which I'm really excited
Hey,
for.
so Nick, what did you want to say? You're on the show all of a sudden?
I just got bored, so I thought I'd come on for a bit.
Okay. No. All right. So, hey, Kim, while you're here, we'd love to hear the story of how Scott proposed to you. Then we got a couple of others lined up. Matt wants to come on and defend himself. We're going to hear the Korean version. Apparently, there's 2 different versions in their household of how their engagement story went. But first of all, who wants to tell the story of how you guys how you guys got engaged?
Kim does.
Let Scott do it because it's much better.
All right, Kim, you start.
Okay.
Bring pretzels over.
Well, first of all, it was my birthday, so he mastered in birthday dinner. So
Yeah,
I
cheap.
thought we were just going out.
He didn't
for
want
my
a second
birthday.
dinner, so he's cheap. All right, keep going.
Yeah, maybe. So we went out for my birthday and we went down to Byron. It was Byron. No, Kingscliff. I can't even remember. Kingscliff. We went
Clearly,
down to
this
Kingscliff.
was pre-restrictions when the borders were open. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. We went down to Kingscliff and had this amazing Greek dinner with really good halloumi. It was delicious. And then after the dinner, he took me, there's a beach next door to where we were. And this shows how good he is to me. Scott hates the beach. He hates sand. And
Really?
One time I said I didn't like the beach.
This is like the fruit. Or was it? I don't want to go to the beach right now.
Yeah.
That's so not true. Anyway, he hates the beach. He doesn't like sand. So he took me to the beach and then he was like, oh, we'll open your presents on the beach. The funny part was it was like pitch black, dark. You couldn't see anything, which means that I couldn't actually see my presents, which made it slightly more awkward. Yep. But then he had his little
Again,
thoughts
because he's cheap
in
and he
his
didn't get you
hand.
good presents.
So he's like, oh, you can't see anything. Do you want to continue the story?
Trust me, they're really good. No, yeah.
I'll keep going. Okay. So then we sat down so I could open my presents. and he had got me for my birthday. It was like all of these little presents, right? And so it was a concept idea. And so it was a set of frames, like picture frames. And inside each of the frames, there was a map inside it. And each of the maps had to do with a significant moment in our relationship.
Wow.
And so, yeah, super cute. He's very cute. And so then he had a little bag with him, and inside the bag he was like, here are some clues to help you guess what each of the moments were. And so the first one was when he hates the beach, so it can't be a beach wedding.
Not your decision, it's mine. I got 6 of them.
So the first one was when we first met, and then the second one was, I actually don't know what the second one was. Yeah, good. What was the second one? Do you remember?
Probably where we started dating, but whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Not that meaningful.
Yeah. It was when we started dating, and it was super cute. He asked me out in a really cute way too. He had these.
There's a lot of cuteness about this.
Just a side note. The entire time you've known me, I've basically always worked in media. Remember, we've talked about word economy before and the importance of word economy.
Oh my gosh.
Is this what you're going to do to my vows as well? You'd be like, word economy, sorry, there's too much of that.
No, we've dropped 3 viewers since you've started, so keep going.
Oh my God. Anyway, so yeah, second one was when he asked me out, which cute story. He asked me out using puns and chocolate. Like he was like, this might make you snicker, pulled out a snicker. And then he said, it won't come as a surprise, Kinder surprise.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Very
that was
good.
when we first met.
Very good. Girls,
And
find
then
yourself a man who.
I don't know what you said. And then the third one was when we went to New York together. And then the fourth one was where a map of where we were. And I was like, that's cool. We're going to have a lot of maps on this wall if there's going to be one for every birthday dinner we have. And then he pulled out a ring.
So good. So good. He's done well. Looks like you won't be re-proposing. You know what my favorite part of that story was, by the way, is when you told Kim that she needed some better like word economy, and instead of changing the number of words, she sped them up. That was what I liked. It was like, but the words didn't change. They just got faster. Well done. Thanks, Kim, for that.
Thanks, Kim.
There was a lot more details in there than what I expected, actually. Hey, speaking of details, we have somebody who'd like to clarify some details. Matt, apparently he felt a little bit ripped off by his story about what happened with his engagement. Matt, you were angry.
Okay, so last week on the show, we talked about how Matt and Maddie got engaged a couple of 3 weeks ago, Matt.
3 weeks Saturday,
yeah. So very exciting. We're so excited about it. And I said it's amazing. Matt didn't seem like the kind of guy to have the foresight to have a photographer, but there's amazing photo.
Yeah.
And you said
he definitely didn't actually have a photographer. He couldn't be bothered organizing a photographer, I think is where we were going with it. It was too much trouble. There was a whole bunch of excuses. But apparently, Matt, you wanted to clarify what your real excuse was.
So I was going to get a photographer. However,
mate, we're all going to do things. I was going to organise a helicopter. I was going to organise a Skyrider too, mate.
All right with your fingers, mate. I was going to, but logistically it wouldn't work because the photographer
I know the feeling.
A camera pointed at me and Maddie. She'd be like, well, that's a bit sus. So I videoed it myself secretly, and there was a person happened to be there. Take photos. So
is there a video that you want to share with us? Where's the video set up? Is it in your pocket, or is it, what do you got, a pen cam or what? Body cam? What's it?
I like set my phone up for to do like a time lapse photo, like a time delay photo.
Cool.
But I put on record instead. So yeah.
Hey, look, I think we should start, in honor of Matt, a new segment on our show about things that I was going to do, but they were logistically impossible.
Before we get rid of Matt, before we wrap up and get rid of Matt and hear what I think is going to be the proposal story of our church, was the location, was the bushwalk something that you guys both love? Was it so that she'd be so exhausted she'd say yes so that she could get out of there? Why did you guys choose the location?
So it was our location and our first date, basically.
Oh, so nice.
Yeah.
So nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Cliche.
Well, you're a little sweetheart, and we've all got things that we're going to do. I can't wait to see that photo in the front row of the church. It's going to be amazing. Speaking of amazing and front row sort of people, we have friends of ours, the careers on. Let's bring them up and just put that photo up so Lois remembers. That is what you married. Do you remember when he looked like that?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey, how you going? We can't see you anymore because all we can see is that photo. Lois, does that bring back good memories?
Sorry, say it again.
Does that photo bring back good memories? Is that the reason why you guys have 3 kids and 4 on the way, another one on the way?
That photo was taken before we actually met.
It's very much the reason.
All right. So that's what you were missing out on. All right, so you guys have an engagement story that apparently there's 2 different sides to. Who wants to go first? And be careful because Scott does get upset if the stories go too long.
I do.
I just want to say before I start, Scott, I really like you. Genuinely, you're a guy that I like. So just want to make sure you know that.
Yeah, I like you as well, Leroy, and it's always the people that we're closest to that we feel we can sharpen and improve. So away with the story.
All right. Well, I guess like Lois was living in Cambodia and I was living in Australia. And so I was on a mission trip to Cambodia. She was working in the orphanage there, so we didn't really have too much time. And so we had a day where we didn't have work. So basically, I had set up an amazing race for her throughout the city of Siem Reap. And so I hired a tuk-tuk driver for the day to take her around, and I had my friend with all the envelopes. I set up some of the kids in the orphanage to read her the clues. I put clues for some of the cafes, in the internet cafes. I uploaded videos on the internet cafe she was going to. Some of the one of the places she had breakfast, the waiters or whatever, they had the clues. So it was all set up, ready to go, and she basically had to get from clue to clue. After going through all these kind of clues, all got to do with things that we went through, then she made her way back to the hotel. And then from there, I was hiding in the bathroom, and then there was a laptop set up. The laptop basically said, "Open me." Song started playing.
And it was The Book of Love.
Yeah.
The song was The Book of Love.
I can sing that for you guys if you want.
Yeah, go.
Has music in it.
Yeah.
Music.
That's the one.
And so came out at that point. The end of the song says, "I should give you wedding rings." So we danced, got down on one knee, and I popped the question.
Oh, man.
And I was cracking up. At first, I was cracking up because I just couldn't believe it. I was just so overwhelmed, and that was just my way of just being so happy. So I laughed at first, and then I was like, and I said yes.
Oh,
yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That is beautiful. So do you agree with that version of the story? There's no other version?
Yes. That is basically the real version. I don't know what version you guys have heard before.
Oh, I haven't heard any of the version. Well, I mean, that is a
version that hasn't been changed at all. Yeah.
Well, we agreed that the worst engagement story would have to repropose, and so far, I'm going to have to end up reproposing to my wife out of this. This is not going well. That's an incredible story. Scott, yours is incredible. Matt's, he had lots of plans that he was going to do, so that's pretty incredible.
Can I just say,
Yeah.
Can I say, at the moment, yours is definitely the loser, but the careers is like if I was writing a rom-com, that's how you'd write the proposal. Like that's a movie level.
And not only that, they're the sort of proposal stories that make a lot of us guys think you're a jerk, Leroy. How do we follow that? Well done for making it virtually impossible.
Hold on. Now's the real question. Before we let you go, question for Lois. Has
Yeah.
Levi? Sorry, Levi just walked
Yeah,
off.
dog.
You just think of Leroy as a dog.
Has Leroy?
I don't think you're a dog, Leroy.
Has Leroy's skills as a romantic ever lived up to the proposal story since?
Actually, they have. He's
Oh,
a
it's
jerk.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you're a jerk, Leroy. You're way too romantic. I don't like it when you tell stories about what you're doing because I can't keep up with that. Hey, well done. You guys are a super couple, a great inspiration to anyone who wants to just be feeling intimidated. So about how unromantic they are. And not to mention, you can see a guitar in the background. That's not for effect. Leroy can actually sing and dance and do all sorts of things. So they are spectacular. Hey, we're out of time.
Next week's show, we're pretty excited for this. There are two big things going on next week's show. The first one, Sim and Lease, they're going to do the couples quiz that Kim and I did tonight, except about them. And also, we're going to hear a story from them about Simeon and dancing at weddings, which I'm very excited
Plus, we're going to start choosing some of the things for your wedding. Nick's got an idea for a game for us that we're going to start next week as well.
This is like iSurvivor Mark II. It's not actually iSurvivor. It's a brand new game. And this time, Courtney's not allowed to win because you can't win twice.
Oh, I don't know.
How games work around here.
She might be that good. Maybe you just I don't understand that because there are teams that win twice, aka the Roosters. Actually, speaking of winning lots and lots, don't forget we have Sunday church online. Don't forget, keep gathering together as families and also having people over as those restrictions ease. Yes, we can't meet together in our building as we do renovations there at Ipswich, but there are still plenty of ways that you can gather, you can meet together. All the times are there on the screen that you guys can.
Are you doing Pastor Simo's tour? You're at my church group.
Yeah. I'm at another group again this week at the Hewitt's place and their group that meets together as well, which is pretty cool. And also, message coming out again this Friday, so that's going to be brilliant.
Yeah,
it's just so many different ways.
I can probably say that. You probably can't.
No, I can. No, I know what the effort that we put into it, so it's going to be a cracker. So make sure that you guys are jumping online, hanging out, talking with each other. We look forward to seeing you guys again next week. Big plans. We're about to go and party.
Dinner to celebrate Courtney's win for iSurvivor. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Another massive show next week. We love you. Bye.
Bye everyone.
I will stand by
No, just end the show, Nick. It's not hard. Just press a button. Yeah!